Hello and a warm welcome back to the series of Basics of Remote Sensing and Geographic Information System. I am Vanessa Johnson, and in this video we're going to be studying about the introduction to remote sensing. So till now we have done an introduction to GIS, we have done the data models and data types also in the previous video, and right now we are going to do an introduction to remote sensing. So we're going to do concepts, definition, types of remote sensing. So the concept of remote sensing, what is remote sensing? It is simply the science and technology of acquiring information about the Earth's surface without direct physical contact. So a very easy example is when you have your TV, you handle it with a remote. What is a remote? A remote is a device that you are using from far away without touching the television. You are able to change the channels, you are able to increase or decrease the volume. You can do so many things without going and touching the television. So you are doing it remotely. That means from far away without direct physical contact. So without direct physical contact. This is very, very important. Contact. Okay. Anyways, this is an image of apples. Correct. So when you see this image, I can see red apples, I can see yellow apples, and I can see green apples. So I know that they are in different stages. Some of them will be sour, some of them will be sweet. Can you tell me which one will be sweet? You can write it down in the comments. So the red ones would be sweeter, absolutely, and the green ones would be more sour. How can I tell so much information, or how can I guess about these things without even touching the apple? Now the apple is on a screen. None of you or nor have I either touched the apple to know exactly how it tastes, right? So I have done this, and you have also understood and done this by remote sensing. So even our eyes are doing the same thing of getting information, acquiring information without direct physical contact. I have not needed to taste the apple, I have not needed to touch the apple to know that it is an apple, right? So this is also a very easy example of remote sensing. Without physical contact, I was able to give a lot of information about the fruit, about the apple. Moving forward towards the actual definition. So remote sensing involves the detection and measurement of electromagnetic energy reflected, emitted, or transmitted by target objects on the Earth's surface. Okay. So this data is collected using sensors that can capture information across different wavelengths, allowing for creation of images and data sets that help analyze and monitor the Earth's surface. I would not suggest that you you do not need to memorize this to understand. Even if you write acquiring information about the Earth's surface without direct physical contact would be great. Okay, now types of remote sensing. What are the different types of remote sensing? There are two types. There is something called as passive remote sensing, and there is something called as active remote sensing. Now remote sensing, when we are talking about the actual remote sensing, it is done with the help of satellites and sensors. There are two things. There are satellites and there are sensors. Even your camera, your phone has sensors. So when you get a call and when you have the phone in your hand, you will see that the screen would be on, but the moment you put the phone to your ear, the screen goes blank or it goes black, right? How does that happen? That happens because of a sensor that is in your phone. Okay, so such sensors are put on satellites, and these satellites are orbiting the Earth at different distances and at different times and in different areas. But the thing is, they can be passive or they can be active. Now what does this mean? Passive sensors use the sun's light. Okay, so there is the sun, they use the sun's energy. So for example, if this is our sensor, I am just blankly drawing an image right now, and if this is our object, so what is going to happen is that the sensor is going to take the sun's energy and the sun's light in order to look at this object. So when the sun's energy, sun's light looks at this object here, it is going to be recorded by the sensor. So this is called passive remote sensing, where the sensor does not have its own energy source, or the sensor does not have its own energy source. So it is using the energy source of the sun or another object. Okay, and active remote sensing is when this sensor has its own energy source. Okay, so it will, what it does is that it sends this energy source, it reflects on this object, and it goes back to the sensor. Once the sensor has recorded it, you will get the information. Okay, so passive remote sensing, the images, what can happen here is the images can be affected due to the change in sunlight. And whereas active remote sensing, what is happening is it can be used in low light conditions. You don't need the sun for it, so you can do this even during the night time. There is no need that the sensor or the satellite is working only in the daytime. For passive remote sensing, you will only need it during the day. Okay, active you can use day and night, but it can be used in low light conditions also. So again, an explanation of passive. Passive has an energy source here, that is the sun. This is our sensor, which is getting the information because of the energy, because of the light reflected by the sun. Then we have active remote sensors. So active remote sensor has its own sensor, and it is sending the signal down and again receiving it. That is how it works. Again, another picture for you to understand better. This is the energy source. The energy source goes down, it gets reflected, and it gets recorded here by the sensor, right, by the satellite. And here what is happening is the sensor itself is sending down the energy source, and again it is taking the observations or the readings or the information of the reflection back into the sensor itself. So this is a very, very short video of what is types of sensors, and if you have any questions about this, about active remote sensing, about passive remote sensing, about the definition, or if you still not understood what is remote sensing, please feel free to ask down in the comments below. And again, if you need the notes, please do comment and I will send you the notes online. Thank you so much once again for your time. I will see you in the next video.